After all these years, one star was still fighting legal battles at the age of 101, while another gave up their American citizenship just to accept one of the most shocking roles of their entire career. An actor everyone absolutely adored, someone no one ever imagined would land this part, is now finally opening up, sharing raw stories of conflicts, disappointments, and surprising victories that came long after their massive fame on The Big Bang Theory. Music. If you're curious about the surprising journeys of the Big Bang Theory cast after the show ended, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and drop a comment below letting us know what you think. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss any exciting new videos. Now, let's jump right into the stories together. Music. For 12 years, Kaley Cuoco was America's favorite girl next door, until 2019 when The Big Bang Theory wrapped, and her biggest role to date came to an end. She had to decide whether to quietly fade into television history or prove she was much more than just Penny. She didn't hesitate for a second. Instead of waiting around for the perfect part to come along, she took control and started building her own path with bold risks almost no one saw coming. She launched her own production company, Norman Productions, and got straight to work. Her very first major project was The Flight Attendant, an HBO Max series that premiered in 2020. Kaley played Cassie Bowden, a flight attendant who gets caught in a murder mystery after a one-night stand turns deadly. This was a complete 180 from her comedy roots. Cassie is chaotic, unpredictable, and battling alcoholism. The role was intense and demanding, and Kaley proved she had serious dramatic range. The show became a massive hit and earned her Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. This moment marked a real turning point in her career. Music. Around the same time, she took on another bold challenge, voicing Harley Quinn in an animated series that launched in 2019. The show was edgy, violent, and packed with dark humor. Kaley brought a fresh, electric energy to the character, and fans absolutely loved it. Another big win, but she didn't stop there. She kept the momentum going with Meet Cute in 2022, a romantic comedy where she starred opposite Pete Davidson. Then in 2023 she led a dark comedy series based on a true story that explored America's obsession with true crime. Music. Some critics felt she was playing too many characters similar to Cassie, but Kaley kept pushing forward anyway. Right now she's gearing up for one of the biggest projects of her career. She'll portray Hollywood icon Doris Day in an upcoming biographical series. If it lands well, it could completely shift her career in a whole new direction. Kaley has been very honest about the fears she faced after The Big Bang Theory ended. She admitted she was terrified nothing would ever match that level of success again. She refused to chase another safe sitcom role. Instead, she focused on projects that genuinely excited her. That resilience didn't start with Hollywood, she developed it long before she ever stepped into acting. Even during her time on The Big Bang Theory, things weren't always smooth behind the scenes. In 2017 she and several other cast members agreed to take a pay cut so that co-stars Kunal Nair and Melissa Rauch could get raises. That decision created some tension on set, but the real bombshell came in 2018 when Jim Parsons announced he was leaving the show. Kaley had no idea it was coming, and his exit basically meant the end of the series. She was completely blindsided. The show wrapped in 2019. While she loved playing Penny, she was disappointed with how the character's story concluded. She didn't agree with Penny's surprise pregnancy in the finale. She felt it went against the entire journey the writers had built for her. Music. Jim Parsons became a global name thanks to his portrayal of Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory. Across 12 seasons he played the socially awkward genius and won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards plus a Golden Globe. By the time the series ended in 2019, he was one of the highest paid actors on television, earning $1 million per episode at his peak. That brought his total earnings from the show to roughly $177.70 million. In 2018, CBS offered him a $50 million deal to keep going, but Parsons turned it down. His decision directly led to the show's conclusion. Later he explained it simply felt like the right time to move on. Music. Even after leaving the role, he stayed connected to the Big Bang universe as a storyteller and executive producer on Young Sheldon, which ran until 2024. Since then, Parsons has explored a wide range of other projects. In 2020 he starred in the Netflix limited series Hollywood and earned an Emmy nomination for playing Henry Wilson, a powerful but ruthless talent agent. In 2022 he took on a deeply emotional role in Spoiler Alert, a romantic drama based on journalist Michael Ausiello's memoir. Critics praised his performance for its raw emotional depth. In 2024 he returned to Broadway in a lead role in Our Town at the Ethel Barrymore Theatre. He played the stage manager, a part that required him to guide the audience through the entire story. It was a big shift from sitcom comedy, but it once again proved his incredible range. That same year he starred opposite Jessica Lange in Paula Vogel's Play Mother Play, another project that highlighted his theatrical talent beyond television. Music. Parsons has also found major success as a producer. Since 2015 he and his husband Todd Spiewak have run That's Wonderful Productions, the company behind Special, 2019 to 2021, an Emmy-nominated series about a gay man with cerebral palsy. Parsons is especially drawn to stories that give voice to underrepresented people. As for the future, fans frequently ask if he'll ever return as Sheldon. He said the chances of a full revival are very low, joking that it would basically require a resurrection. Still, he hasn't completely ruled out a guest appearance in the Big Bang Theory spin-off. In his personal life he stays grounded. He and Todd Spiewak have been married since 2017 and share a passion for creative storytelling, but they've chosen not to have children. Looking back on everything, Parsons expresses nothing but gratitude. He took a huge risk by walking away from the Big Bang Theory, but his career has continued to grow and thrive. Music. Simon Helberg never expected to become a sitcom legend before the Big Bang Theory changed everything. He was just another actor hustling in Hollywood. Then in 2007 he landed the role of Howard Wolowitz, and the show turned into a global phenomenon. For 12 years he played the eccentric aerospace engineer with the tight pants and flashy belts. But when the series ended in 2019, he faced the same question everyone else did: how do you prove you're more than just Howard? Music. After the Big Bang Theory, Helberg deliberately took on roles that showed his range. In 2021 he starred in Annette, a musical film with Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard. He played a pianist, a complex, mysterious character far removed from Howard's loud, goofy energy. His commitment went so far that he even became a French citizen to help secure funding for the film. While it wasn't strictly necessary, it showed just how serious he was. Critics praised his performance, proving he could more than hold his own in serious, artistic films. Helberg also made a guest appearance in Poker Face, a mystery series on Peacock. He played an FBI agent who was both goofy and funny, reminding everyone of his razor-sharp comedic timing. Even though it was only one episode, it made a strong impact. Music. Long before the Big Bang Theory, Helberg had already built a solid career. In 2016 he earned a Golden Globe nomination for playing Cosme McMoon in Florence Foster Jenkins opposite Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant. He also appeared in films like A Serious Man, 2009, and Space Oddity, showing he could move easily between comedy and drama. Outside of acting, Helberg's personal life has stayed steady. He's been married to actress Jocelyn Town since 2007 and they have 2 children. In 2023 they listed their Los Angeles property for sale, though they haven't shared the reason. It might signal a shift in priorities or simply a new chapter. Behind the scenes during the early seasons of The Big Bang Theory, Hellberg faced personal struggles most fans never knew about. He dealt with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, a condition that delayed his plans to start a family. By the time the show brought him fame and financial security, he was also battling severe anxiety. Since then he's spoken openly about his mental health struggles to help raise awareness, showing that even at the height of success, these challenges can still exist. Music. One of the biggest surprises about Hellberg's career came many years after The Big Bang Theory ended. In 2022, he learned a shocking truth: he wasn't the first choice to play Howard Wolowitz. Originally, Kevin Sussman, who later played Stewart, had been cast in the role. But due to a scheduling conflict with another project, Sussman had to drop out, opening the door for Hellberg. Sussman kept the secret for over a decade to avoid any awkwardness. When Hellberg finally found out, he was stunned, but also deeply grateful. Music. Johnny Galecki became a household name thanks to Leonard Hofstadter on The Big Bang Theory, but after the show ended in 2019, his life took a very different direction. Instead of chasing more spotlight roles in Hollywood, he chose a quieter path, balancing creative work with family life and personal challenges. Right after The Big Bang Theory, Galecki returned to television in The Conners, the Roseanne spin-off. He reprised his role as David Healy and showed how the character had evolved over the years, but he didn't stay long. Rather than focusing solely on acting, he moved behind the camera. One of his biggest projects was A-OK, a sitcom set in 1991 about a struggling internet startup company. He co-created it with John Acquavella, producer from Will and Grace, and served as executive producer. Though he stepped back from being in front of the camera, Galecki didn't abandon acting completely. He took roles in independent films, choosing projects that challenged him creatively instead of chasing big studio movies. His decision to avoid major Hollywood blockbusters showed he wanted to move beyond being known only as Leonard. While his career shifted, his personal life changed even more dramatically. In late 2019 he and Elena Meyer welcomed their first child, a son named Onyx. But their relationship ended, and they separated in 2020. A few years later he married Morgan Galecki. In 2023 they welcomed a daughter named Una Anna. Instead of staying in Los Angeles, he moved to Nashville, looking for a quieter, more private life. During his time on The Big Bang Theory, Galecki faced challenges most fans never knew about. In 2011 he was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, a condition that causes temporary facial paralysis. He experienced numbness and drooping but kept working without letting it interfere with his performance. Outside of acting, he wasn't afraid to speak his mind, even when his opinions stirred controversy. After the 2018 school shooting in Florida, he publicly supported gun control. His stance upset many fans and cost him thousands of followers on social media, but he stood firm and never apologized. Music. His time on The Big Bang Theory also came with a few strange behind-the-scenes stories. Over 12 years he developed a habit of sticking used chewing gum on a hidden wall on set. Co-star Kunal Nair eventually revealed the secret, but the biggest surprise was Galecki's own confession. He admitted he was the only cast member who ever had sex in his dressing room during the entire run of the show, a detail that shocked fans and colleagues alike. Music. Kunal Nair was once the shy, awkward Raj Kuthrapali on The Big Bang Theory, a role that made him famous around the world. But when the show ended in 2019, he didn't just relax and enjoy the success. He took risks and explored new territory far beyond the nerdy astrophysicist fans knew. In 2020 Nair stunned audiences with his role in Criminal, UK on Netflix. He played Sandeep, a convicted serial killer, a character completely opposite anything he'd done before. Critics praised his performance, and in 2021 he earned a nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the British Academy Television Awards. 2 years later he starred alongside Uma Thurman in Suspicion, a thriller on Apple TV+. His shift from comedy to intense drama was unexpected, but it proved his real versatility as an actor. Even while taking on darker roles, Nair never abandoned comedy. In 2024 he reunited with Big Bang co-star Melissa Rauch for a guest spot on the Night Court revival on NBC. Later that same year he starred in the romantic comedy How to Date Billy Walsh, but his most ambitious project is still coming. He'll play Scrooge in Christmas Karma, a Bollywood-style musical adaptation of A Christmas Carol directed by Gurinder Chadha. This fresh reimagining could become one of the defining moments of his career. Animation has also been a big part of his journey. His voice brought Guy Diamond to life in DreamWorks' Trolls, 2016, and Gupta in Ice Age, Continental Drift, 2012. These roles made him a familiar voice in family-friendly films, expanding his career beyond live-action music. Beyond acting, Nair has explored writing and producing. In 2015 he released his memoir Yes, My Accent is Real, a funny, heartfelt book about his life as an immigrant breaking into Hollywood. It was warmly received and gave fans a deeper look into his personal journey. He also co-wrote the play Cotton Candy, which premiered in India. He performed in Jesse Eisenberg's The Spoils, first on Broadway and later in London's West End. His career hasn't been controversy-free. A scene in The Big Bang Theory caused backlash when Raj made an offensive comment comparing Bollywood actresses Madhuri Dixit and Aishwarya Rai. The remark led to public outrage, and in 2023 political analyst Mithun Vijay Kumar filed legal action against Netflix over it. Nair has never publicly addressed the issue in detail. His parking habits on The Big Bang set were also known to annoy some co-stars, though it eventually became more of an inside joke than a real problem. Music. If you're enjoying these surprising stories and want to hear more about what happened to the Big Bang Theory stars after the show ended, drop a comment with the number 1. If not, just leave a 0. Now let's move on to the next cast member. Music. Melissa Rauch never imagined she'd become a Hollywood star before The Big Bang Theory made her famous. She was just a struggling actress doing stand-up at small clubs, hoping for any kind of break. That break came in 2009 when she landed the role of Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz. Her high-pitched voice and razor-sharp comedic timing turned her into an instant fan favorite, and she stayed with the show for 10 seasons. But when The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, Rauch had a big decision to make. She could play it safe and keep taking similar roles, or she could push herself into new territory and prove she was more than Bernadette. She chose the second path. Music. In 2015, while still on The Big Bang Theory, she took a major risk with The Bronze, a dramedy she co-wrote, co-produced, and starred in. She played Hope, a bitter former Olympic gymnast who refuses to move on from her past glory. The film premiered at Sundance Film Festival. Reviews were mixed, but her performance stood out strongly. Getting that role wasn't easy. When the project started, producers didn't want her as the lead. They wanted a bigger, more recognizable movie star. Rauch fought hard for it, and she won. Her performance was bold, funny, and completely different from Bernadette. Music. Voice acting became another important part of her career. In 2017 she landed the role of Harley Quinn in Batman and Harley Quinn, a part she had dreamed about for years. She brought her own unique energy to the character, mixing humor and mischief with Harley's rebellious spirit. She later said she drew inspiration from her New Jersey childhood to give the character a playful yet strong personality. Music. After The Big Bang Theory ended, she took time to focus on family. She had married writer-producer Winston Beigel years earlier, and they welcomed their first child in 2017. In 2020 they had their second child, but she didn't step away from acting. In 2023 she returned to network television with a lead role in the Night Court revival on NBC. She played Judge Abby Stone, the daughter of the original series Judge Harold T. Stone. She also became an executive producer, working closely with her husband to bring the show to life. Night Court was a hit, and audiences loved the mix of humor and heart. NBC renewed it for a second season. Rauch's character is optimistic on the surface, but there's real depth underneath. Abby's struggle with alcoholism added serious layers, making the show more than just nostalgia. Outside of acting, Rauch stays busy. She voices characters in animated series like Firebuds, 2022, and even competed on Celebrity Jeopardy! That same year. She didn't reach the finals, but fans loved seeing her personality shine. Even as her career grows, family always comes first. She and Winston run January Productions, the company they built together. She also devotes time to charity work, co-founding OC Cares, a non-profit supporting children with cancer. While she mostly stays out of controversy, she's had to fight hard for some of her biggest roles. The Bronze is a perfect example. Producers initially didn't believe she could carry the film, but she proved them wrong. Instead of being forever known as Bernadette, she's built a growing, versatile career. Music. Mayim Bialik was already a teen star in the early 1990s thanks to the hit show Blossom, and everyone expected her to keep climbing in Hollywood. But instead of chasing more acting roles, she did something completely unexpected. She left the industry to study neuroscience, music. Years later she made a huge comeback with the role of Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory. That part turned her into a household name again, earning her 4 Primetime Emmy nominations and 2 Critics' Choice Television Awards. Even in 2025 she remains a major figure in both entertainment and science, although her journey has been filled with both incredible success and real controversy. After The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, Bialik stayed very active. She starred in the comedy Call Me Kat, which ran from 2021 to 2023. The show was based on the British series Miranda and followed an eccentric woman running a cat cafe. It built a loyal fanbase, but was cancelled after 3 seasons in 2022. She also directed her first feature film, As They Made Us, a deeply personal drama that received strong praise for its emotional storytelling. During this time she also became one of the hosts of Jeopardy! Alongside Ken Jennings from 2021 to 2023. She shared hosting duties, but her style received mixed reactions from viewers. Some praised her intelligence, others criticized her delivery. Her endorsement of the brain supplement Neuriva, which some experts called pseudoscience, added more fuel to the debate. Music. Outside of acting, Bialik is a successful author. She has written several accessible science books, including Girling Up and Boying Up, exploring the challenges of growing up, siblinghood, focusing on parenting, and Mayim's Vegan Table, plant-based recipes. In 2015 she launched Grok Nation, a website dedicated to discussing social issues. Although the site stopped updating in 2019, her neuroscience background has made her a strong advocate for women in STEM fields. She also speaks openly about mental health on her podcast Breakdown. She shares her own experiences with OCD and eating disorders. She co-hosts with her partner Jonathan Cohen, and together they explore mental health from both scientific and personal angles. Music. Faith plays a major role in her life. She identifies as a modern Orthodox Jew and frequently talks about her beliefs. She has also voiced support for Israel, especially during times of conflict. While some admire her for staying true to her values, others have strongly criticized her views. Throughout her career Bialik has faced several controversies. In 2017 she wrote an op-ed for the New York Times about the Harvey Weinstein scandal, arguing that dressing modestly and avoiding flirtation had protected her from harassment. Many people saw it as victim blaming. After the backlash she apologized and clarified that no victim is ever responsible for an assault. She also faced criticism for her early views on vaccines. Earlier in her career she admitted to delaying vaccinations for her children, which led some to label her anti-vaccine. She later contracted COVID 19 and has spoken about getting the flu vaccine. Music. Kevin Sussman never planned to become famous before The Big Bang Theory turned him into a familiar face. He was just another ambitious actor trying to make it in Hollywood. He worked in a comic book store while auditioning, never imagining he'd one day play a comic book store owner on one of television's biggest sitcoms. Music. When The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, many wondered what would come next for him. Unlike some actors who struggled to move beyond an iconic role, Sussman took on new projects with ease, showing real range that he appeared in dramatic roles in Better Call Saul and The Dropout. In Better Call Saul he played Mr. Link in 2 episodes, proving he could handle serious, intense storytelling. In The Dropout, Hulu's miniseries about Elizabeth Holmes and the Theranos scandal, he played Mark Rosler. Another strong dramatic performance that added depth to his resume. Music. Comedy remains part of his career too. He appeared in 2 episodes of Call Me Kat, a comedy starring his former co-star Mayim Bialik. He also took on a recurring role in Lessons in Chemistry, an Apple TV Plus series, playing Walter Pine. These parts show that Sussman isn't locked into one genre. He moves comfortably between comedy and drama. His talent goes beyond acting. In 2013 he co-created Dark Minions, a stop-motion animated comedy, with John Ross Bowie, who played Barry Kripke on The Big Bang Theory. Amazon Studios bought the project, but it was never fully produced. That didn't stop him from writing. He and Bowie worked on other scripts, including the Ever After part and the second Rob's appearance for CBS. Those shows were never made, but they proved Sussman has real passion for storytelling beyond performing. Music. Before he became Stuart Bloom, Sussman had already built an impressive career. He appeared in Ugly Betty as Walter and had roles in films like Liberty Heights, 1999, and Almost Famous, 2000. Interestingly, he was originally cast as Howard Wolowitz on The Big Bang Theory. But because he had already signed with ABC for Ugly Betty, he had to drop out, opening the door for Simon Helberg to take the role. A few seasons later Sussman joined the show as Stuart, turning what started as a small supporting part into one of the most beloved characters on the series. Music. Despite his success, he's spoken openly about challenges in the industry, especially after the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. He explained how streaming platforms have dramatically changed how actors get paid. When The Big Bang Theory aired on CBS, syndication provided stable, long-term income. But once the show moved to streaming services like Max and Amazon Prime, that syndication money dropped sharply. His experience reflects a larger problem many actors face in the streaming era, struggling to make a living even after years of success. Music. Sarah Gilbert's journey in Hollywood has been anything but typical. She started acting at a young age, but no one could have predicted how far she would go. Born on January 29, 1975 in Santa Monica, California, she became famous early for playing Darlene Connor on Roseanne, a show that ran from 1988 to 1997 and made her a household name. Her character was smart, sarcastic, and completely different from the usual teen girls on TV. Audiences and critics loved her, and she earned 2 Primetime Emmy nominations for the role. When Roseanne was revived in 2018, Gilbert wasn't just returning as an actress, she was also an executive producer and played a major role in bringing the show back. But everything changed when Roseanne Barr posted a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett. ABC canceled the revival immediately. Despite strong ratings, Gilbert publicly condemned Barr's comments, saying they did not reflect the values of the cast and crew. Barr hit back hard, blaming Gilbert for the cancellation and calling her a traitor. Their relationship was permanently damaged, but Gilbert refused to let it stop her. She helped create The Connors, the spin-off that continued the story without Barr. Music. Outside of Roseanne, Gilbert had other memorable roles. On The Big Bang Theory she played Leslie Winkle, a physicist who briefly dated Leonard Hofstadter, played by Johnny Galecki. Fans loved her character, especially her sharp comebacks and no-nonsense attitude. She was briefly promoted to a main cast member, but the writers struggled to fit her into the larger story. Eventually she returned to guest appearances. Music. In 2010 she created The Talk, a CBS daytime talk show where women discussed current events from a mother's perspective. The show became a major success, winning multiple Daytime Emmy Awards. She co-hosted for nearly a decade before stepping away in 2019 to focus on other projects. Gilbert has also explored many other creative areas. She acted in shows like ER, 24, Grey's Anatomy, and Atypical. She appeared in films including Poison Ivy and Cars with Boys. She even co-founded a production company, Sarah Plus Tom, with producer Tom Werner. She was also an executive producer on Parks of Pittsburgh, an upcoming series. Beyond Hollywood, she has a deep passion for art. She graduated magna cum laude from Yale University in 1997 with a degree in art, and has exhibited her photography around the world. She's also a strong advocate for eco-friendly living, promoting sustainable choices whenever she can. Music. Laura Spencer's path to success looks different, but she has built an impressive career in her own way. Born on May 8, 1986 in Oklahoma City, she developed a love for acting early on. She studied theater at the University of Oklahoma, graduating in 2008 with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. She started with smaller roles, but quickly landed something big. In 2013 she joined The Big Bang Theory as Emily Sweeney, a dermatologist who had a complicated relationship with Raj Kuthrapali. Emily was originally written for just one episode, but fans loved her so much she stayed through season 10. Her character was sweet but had a passion for horror films, making her quirky and memorable. At the same time, Spencer played Jessica Warren on Bones from seasons 9 to 12. She appeared as a quirky, free-spirited intern, juggling two lead roles on major TV shows at once. It wasn't easy, but she handled it without missing a beat. Before her mainstream TV success, she gained recognition for The Lizzie Bennet Diaries, a web series that reimagined Pride and Prejudice in a modern setting. The show won an Emmy for Outstanding Creative Achievement in Interactive Media. Spencer has said the experience taught her the real power of social media in storytelling. Her career expanded beyond television. In 2021 she starred in 13 Minutes, a disaster movie about a tornado and the lives it changes. The film tackled serious social issues like immigration and abortion, and Spencer's role as Vicky gave her a chance to handle more dramatic material. She continued taking roles in high-profile projects. In 2024 she appeared on Grey's Anatomy in the episode, If Walls Could Talk. She also had a guest role in Reservation Dogs, showing she's drawn to stories with cultural depth. Off-screen, Spencer keeps a low profile. She married Michael Jack Greenwald in 2019 and stays away from drama. Instead of chasing headlines, she focuses on acting and philanthropy, using her platform to support causes she cares about. Music. If you love these surprising behind-the-scenes stories and want to hear more about what happened to the Big Bang Theory cast after the show ended, drop a comment with the number 1. If not, just leave a 0. Now let's move on to the next cast member. Music. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, share the video with your friends, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting new video. See you in the next one.